Next, we're gonna set up the Azure app configuration. So now we need that all services goes to the app configuration Azure, so they can grab the settings for the application. And this is a global service, so each time the service is deployed, it is gonna go and take the configuration from the app service. So let's start. First, let's go to Azure, and we need to go for the app configuration. And we're gonna create a new application. The same, we pay as we go, select our resource group. We're in the east, appConfig. Let's set up a unique name. Price, let's choose the standard. We don't need to do replication. And let's just create it. Create. Okay, now it's finished really fast. Go to the resource. Let's go to the configuration explorer. We need to create a new key value. Wait. So what we're gonna set up here is our application settings. Let's start with the transaction one. In the app configuration, we're gonna move this configuration to grab it from the app settings, from the app configuration. So let's copy the same key, paste it here, and let's copy the connection string, paste, let's do the same with the other ones. But before that, let's just finish configuring this part. The first thing is we're gonna need to go to the access key. We need to copy the primary connection. This is the one that we're gonna use to connect our application to the appConfig. So let's go to the application. We're not gonna need this one anymore because we're gonna grab it from the appConfig, and we're gonna set up the properties in the launch settings. because we need to set up the environment variables, and we need to open this file. For some reason it's not opening. Okay, and just ignore this file. We have several profiles, and this is the one that we are using right now. In here we set up the URL that it is used when we launch the application, and as you can see, we set up this new variable that is called config cnapp external, and this is for all development environment. So we need to change the endpoint that is gonna be using to connect. We paste it here, then save it. Next step is that we need to download using the NuGet package manager the next library. This one is the Microsoft Azure app configuration that is gonna allow us to configure the connection to the app configuration. So just install this one, and after you install this one, go to the program, and you're gonna need to use this configuration. So what it's doing is grabbing the endpoint that we just copied here, and we are setting up the connection by adding this configure app configuration. We are gonna add the Azure app configuration, and we are gonna connect to the endpoint that we just set up. And the next part, we're setting up a key where if the version changes, it will restart the values. In this case, it is set up in 5 seconds. So what it's gonna do is, if we change the version to a new one, this is gonna catch that new version, that new value that we set up, and it is gonna retrieve a new configuration to the whole application without having to restart the application. So now all the configuration is gonna be grabbing from this configuration, and as you can see, we are gonna have this builder configuration to grab the new transaction config string, new connection string that is set up in the config app. So this is how we grab now the settings from the config server. So we save it and we test it. We need to set up this version. I think let's build the application. So transaction is working. Where's the output? Okay, task trace package. Same is working now. Let's call the transaction. And we see it is working. Nice. So the next step is to do the same thing with the other applications. Just go to account. Install the library. Add this line of code. And go to the launch settings and add this environment variable and change this one for the app configuration endpoint. Save it and run it. Oh, forgot to make sure it is not grabbing the configuration from this, from the app settings. Let's comment the line to make sure it's working. Now there's an error. Says the connection string can be moved. So it looks like, oh, okay. I forgot to add this one in the app configuration. So let's create just a new key. And add the value of the connection string. Let's run this one again. Now it's working. Let's test the account API. And we have the information, so it works. Let's do the same with the other application history. We'll create a key value. And let me see. We also need in this one to add the name of the database. Okay. We need to grab the same config app name and paste it into the history launch settings. And let's replace this line. Save this. Remember to add the library. And let's comment this line. This one too. Let's go to the programs CS and let's add this snippet, which is going to allow us to grab the information from the appConfig. And let's test that history is working. Okay. Go to Insomnia. Go to the report page. Send it and wait for the not found. Okay, we can see it's working. It was connected to the database. And lastly, let's go for the security application. Open security. Okay. Let me stop the applications. Okay, same thing. We add the library using the NuGet package manager, and we make sure that if it is not here, let's add the app configuration for the ASP.NET Core. So we can see it's installed, the version 5, which is gonna work. Next step, let's go to the app settings. Copy the config and security. Add this one, the key value. Paste it. Let's go for the connection string. And also we need to create the last one, or a super secret key. Just Lastly, we need the same copy the line to the launch settings in the property. Save it and run it to see if it's working. Let's comment the lines, make sure it's working. Go to the programs, yes, and add the snippet that is going to allow to connect to the appConfig. And we run the application. Next step, we want to try it. Let's go to the security and call, and it's return the token. Make sure it's working, and this is everything to configure the app settings in our application.